So here we are in Belgium at the Spa-francachamps circuit for the Belgian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel is on pole. 5 red lights here at Spa, and the races go. Everybody's off the line. Button's made a poor start. Button made a very poor start. He's being absolutely swamped into the first corner. There he's being forced wide by Mark Webber. There, he's behind Vitaly Petrov, just in front of Sergio Perez. That's an absolutely terrible start for Jenson Button. Both he and Mark Webber have lost positions off the line as they fly through Eau Rouge for the first time. Button taking quite a bit of grass there on the inside. Now down the Kemmel Straight for the first time, and Jenson Button already slipstreaming Vitaly Petrov in the Lotus Renault, but he can't do anything about it. So Jenson Button, now he's under pressure from Sergio Perez. Jenson Button under pressure, Sergio Perez on the inside, but to no avail. There, no, and he's still having a look on the inside of Vitaly Petrov. They touch, and Petrov's in the barriers. Absolutely incredible. And Jenson Button off the road. There he's got Buemi, Sutil, and Sergio Perez ahead of him. He's lost 3 places in one corner, trying to gain 1. So Jenson Button now really deep in it as he tries to pass Sebastian Buemi, but he can't. There, Buemi cutting him off. Very, very defensive driving, but now Buemi leaves the door open, and the 2009 champion just sweeps past him at Stavelot on the first lap. Now as Jenson Button arrives at Blanchimont for the first time, a truly terrific corner, one of the legendary turns in Formula 1, completely flat out at 180 miles an hour. And now Sutil has a look at Sergio Perez, and Sergio Perez forces Button wide, and Sutil retakes that position. Now, but Button has passed Sutil, and now he goes inside dummies and locks up everywhere, and is in front of the Sauber. Fantastic stuff from Jenson Button already. We've only just had 1 lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. They're shaking the camera as they fly through, and Jenson Button taking slightly less grass this time. He's taking too much though, because he's taking some at all. But down the Kemmel Straight, still no DRS. That'll be enabled on the next lap. And Nico Rosberg has passed Lewis Hamilton, so Jenson Button's next target is his teammate. Fantastic stuff from Nico Rosberg to pass Lewis Hamilton. So 2009 world champion attempting to pass the 2008 world champion. Both British drivers, and Jenson Button is through. Jenson Button is through. Good overtake there on the inside of the hairpin. Now, oh, he gets a bit of oversteer, and that's going to hamper his exit because Lewis Hamilton are having a look into Pouhon. Jenson Button gives him his McLaren teammate some space, and Hamilton goes through back into 4th place, which is what they're fighting over. And now Jenson Button has a look on the inside of the chicane, but Hamilton tries to brave it out on the outside, and Jenson Button goes wide into the gravel. Jenson Button wide into the gravel. Now he's having a look at Stavelot. It's all over the back of his fellow Englishman, and now he goes through on the inside of the second part of Stavelot. They touch. Hamilton gets a little bit sideways. I can't see any damage, but does Jenson Button have a puncture? The high-speed nature of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit means that we won't be able to see a puncture until the bus stop, where the tyre will deflate, if he's got one. There I'm looking under braking. That's Nico Rosberg ahead, and I can't see a puncture, so it looks like they've both got away with it. Now dumping his curves onto the start-finish straight. Jenson Button now having a look at Nico Rosberg. They're into the La Source hairpin, the first corner. There he squeezes Rosberg over, and he takes the position, but he runs wide. And Nico Rosberg coming back down on the run towards Eau Rouge. That would have been a spectacular move had Jenson Button made it around the outside, but now through Eau Rouge, Jenson Button thinks better of it to avoid a huge crash. So down the Kemmel Straight, and Jenson Button, the DRS wide open, that 50mm slot gap, and look how easy it makes it. Rosberg twitching to try and unnerve Jenson Button, but he's been in Formula 1 since 2000. He's one of the most experienced Formula 1 drivers there is, and he's not phased at all. So Jenson Button now coming down towards the hairpin. He locks up just a little. Only a small one, and he runs wide. A lot of cars understeer there. And Jenson Button running wide. You think he'd have anticipated that? Or was he just trying to pull away? Or could that have been Kerr's harvesting, causing the lock-up, making him go wide? And now he's gone wide at Pouhon, which definitely wasn't a lock-up. Now he's pursuing Felipe Massa's Ferrari. What can he do with that? The Brazilian, the runner-up in 2008, certainly won't give it to him on a plate there. Jenson Button taking a little bit of grass. Will Felipe Massa yield? No, he can't even force Felipe Massa to yield. But now, coming up to the bus stop will be the next overtaking opportunity. That slow chicane there, but in between them is Blanchimont, and Jenson Button having a look around the outside of the 180 miles an hour Blanchimont corner. He runs very wide, and that was no way. There was no way he was going to get through there. And now Jenson Button has to, and he can't get through at the bus stop as a result of running wide, but now dumping the curves, and he's having a look on the outside of Felipe Massa into the La Source hairpin. Can he pull this one off? Yes, he can. No, he can't. Massa on the inside of the lightly cambered La Source hairpin. It means you can take more speed in there on the inside. And that was proven. Jenson Button has a look into Eau Rouge, thinks better of it, and we don't want a Villeneuve-style accident all over again. But Jenson has the DRS, as does Nico Rosberg in the Mercedes, having a look at Felipe Massa. But Jenson into third, with Alonso in second and Vettel in first, squabbling over the lead. The Button takes a little bit of grass on the entry to that corner. That could hamper his exit, but not too much. Runs a little bit on the rumble strip now, and Jenson Button why didn't he pass Fernando Alonso? Jenson Button has passed Alonso. Incredible stuff. I wasn't expecting that. Alonso was miles ahead, but that was impressive. But Alonso having a look through Pouhon now. Please don't laugh at that name. And now, but Jenson Button ran a little bit wide. Alonso slow to react and slow to retake the position. Alonso running over the curves, straddling the curves, unlikely underside, and he does it again, this time taking a tiny bit of gravel with him. That's going to make the underside of the car suffer as well as the tyres. But now coming up to Blanchimont, he's really closing. He's set fastest sectors all the way through the lap. He's closing right up on Sebastian Vettel through the bus stop. And Vettel moves across. Jenson has to lock up, and he's on the inside into the bus stop, but Jenson's coming into the pits, as is Sebastian Vettel, and Vettel's in the barrier. Sebastian Vettel into the barriers. On the entry to the pit lane, he was determined not to yield to Jenson coming into the pit lane, and it's cost him dearly. The Red Bull mechanics have brought out a new front wing. Alonso holds up Button as he comes into the pits. Also out on the Mercedes, Lotus Renault, Sahara Force India, Sauber and Toro Rosso mechanics into the pit, but I can't really see how Vettel is going to do well in this race. He may have a job scoring points from here. And now Jenson Button's rejoined behind the other Red Bull of Mark Webber and Vettel. Sorry, Jenson Button very nearly has another huge accident at Eau Rouge. We've had quite a few of those in the past. Down the Kemmel Straight, he's trying to catch Mark Webber as quickly as he can. He's going to push like hell, but the tyres won't be, and he gets a little bit of oversteer through Les Combes. But as I was saying, the tyres won't be fully up to temperature, and he needs to get a feel for the tyres before he can really open the taps. So it looks like he's already done that. Now we're looking for the middle sector times, and obviously we'll only find that out after the first Stavelot bit. We're currently at Pouhon. Now that double apex downhill left, a very tricky corner. Then there's the chicane here. I've seen plenty of people go off there in the past. And there is Mark Webber, so he's visibly closing on Mark Webber. So on the new tyres, and we cross. There we go. And Jenson Button, a new fastest middle sector. So, by quite some margin, Jenson Button is the quickest car out on the track. And look at the gap now to Mark Webber. He's eaten away, and he has to go wide because of the speed difference through Blanchimont. Jenson really has the car hooked up. There he was 4th on the grid and he passes Mark Webber into the bus stop. Good move there from Jenson Button, who now leads the Grand Prix for the first time. The first time he's led this Belgian Grand Prix. And he runs wide at La Source, and Webber, I think, has gone through. Yes, he has. So that rain at the front was very brief for Jenson Button. Now, through Eau Rouge, Jenson Button thinks about having a look, but chooses not to, which is probably for the best. But now, Jenson right on the tail, no DRS. So he's just got a pure slipstream. And he goes on the inside into Les Combes. A good move there from Jenson Button to retake the lead of the Grand Prix. But he takes too much grass, and that's really going to slow him down. And Mark Webber is on the inside into the hairpin. And Jenson Button now on the outside and goes right round the outside of Mark Webber. Fantastic stuff from the Frome Flier, as they call him. Jenson Button. And now Mark Webber's having a look. Mark Webber, the Aussie, having a look through Pouhon. Jenson Button gives him way too much space and runs wide. They're side by side. And Mark Webber cuts him off. Mark Webber is back in the lead of the Grand Prix. This is absolutely sensational racing here from the Spa-francachamps circuit. And now Jenson Button back in the lead. There he runs wide onto the rumble strip. But Jenson Button has retaken the lead, and only just he has to cut right across the nose of Mark Webber. He obviously knew exactly where Mark Webber was. And he runs miles wide on the kink just into Blanchimont. So, well, that was something I wasn't expecting to see. And that's going to give Mark Webber a chance into the bus stop. He has a look, but he's coming into the pits anyway. So Jenson Button retains his lead in this race. So he runs wide on the exit of the bus stop. He's really trying to get the power down as early as he physically can. And he's going into La Source, and he goes even wider this time. Completely straight on at the La Source hairpin onto the marbles. There, and now Felipe Massa leads with the two McLarens. Hamilton second, Button third. Mark Webber and Jenson Button, when they were fighting, were holding each other up enough so that these two could catch up. And now look what's happened for Jenson Button. No DRS for the Frome Flier. He's now got to catch the Felipe Massa because Lewis Hamilton's already passed him with the DRS. And Button passes them both, but he runs wide at Les Combes. Button off at Les Combes. He's got to give the position back, and he already does. So Jenson Button there, and that's Fernando Alonso in the background catching them up with all the squabbling. Jenson Button locks up and he passes Felipe Massa. Jenson Button passes Felipe Massa on the inside. That will be why he locks up then. So now he's got his teammate Lewis Hamilton, but he runs incredibly wide at Pouhon. Jenson Button very wide at Pouhon. Took too much speed into that corner. It's very easy to do. But now Button pursuing his teammate. It's a McLaren 1-2. What can he do with it? Okay, he's trying to reverse the positions. There, he can't get through Stavolo. There, so it'll be the bus stop or La Source, I should think. Though he's having a look. Both sides of Hamilton coming into Blanchimont. There he's on the outside. And he goes on the inside of Blanchimont. Fantastic racing from both of the British drivers. They bang wheels all the way up to the bus stop chicane where Hamilton retakes the lead of the Grand Prix. This is incredible. Now Button, side by side. There he had, and Hamilton has more curves left, so keeps the lead. But now Button trying to go round the outside, overshoots a little bit. In fact, he overshoots a lot. He runs wide, and Hamilton retakes the lead in the Grand Prix. This is truly spectacular racing, and Button thinks about going on the inside through Eau Rouge. So that shows you just how desperate he is for this win here in Belgium. A favourite track amongst the drivers. And here we go, and Button, with a helping hand from DRS, retakes the lead from his McLaren teammate. A bit of oversteer through Les Combes. There, and Button runs wide. Button runs wide. And now Lewis Hamilton is back in the lead, and Button goes through. There. Can he do it? Yes! and Button retakes the lead. But now Lewis Hamilton is through. The lead changes 4 times in about 600 yards. This is absolutely incredible. Button goes off at Pohon. This is incredible action. Felipe Massa just holding back because he reckons that these two are going to have a huge crash any second now, the way they're driving. And there does seem to be a little bit of desperation in the driving of the two McLarens. And Jenson Button pushes Hamilton wide onto the rumble strip and takes the first place. A very forceful move there, but Hamilton already trying to strike back, and they bang wheels. Hamilton having a look on the on the outside of Blanchimont, and he's already taken it. And Button running wide and running wide again. Twice he runs wide through Blanchimont on the same run, and Button is back in the lead, but Hamilton has the inside, and Button clatters over the curbs. Hamilton forces him over the curb. That hampers his exit, and Hamilton can put a tiny bit of daylight between himself and Jenson Button. And Jenson now locking up, holding station behind Hamilton. He wants the DRS. What can he do? And now on the run down to Eau Rouge. This is the last lap of the Belgian Grand Prix 2011. And I have never seen it like this, with 4 drivers still in with a chance of victory. Hamilton first, Button second, Massa third, Alonso fourth, Button with the DRS, Massa with the DRS, Alonso with the DRS, and Button has a look and goes through with the aid of the DRS. And there he gets it oversteered, he loses it a little bit, he runs onto the rumble strip at Les Combes, and now he runs very wide on the exit of Les Combes, and Hamilton is back into the lead. This is the last lap, and now Button on the inside, he's back in the lead. There, and now Lewis Hamilton, as Button gets oversteer, surely will have a look into Pohon. Button with oversteer, so he may have chewed up his tyres, and Button running wide. Can Lewis Hamilton possibly pass Jenson Button on the last lap and snatch victory from under his nose? Can he snatch victory from the jaws of defeat? Surely not. Button very defensive. He's right down the middle of the road through Stavelot. He's going super defensive on the last lap here. And Jenson Button really going for it on the final lap in Belgium. Only Blanchimont and the bus stop chicane to go. Button 2 wheels over the rumble strip. The bottom of the car will be suffering because of that. But now Button, no challenge from Lewis Hamilton. He's too far back. Hamilton will have to settle for second. And Jenson Button wins the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francachamps, with Hamilton second, Massa third, Alonso fourth, Perez fifth, Webber sixth, Petrov seventh, Sutil eighth, Heidfeld ninth, Alguersuari 10th, Schumacher 11th, Buemi 12th, Paul di Resta 13th, Kobayashi 14th, Maldonado 15th, Barrichello 16th, D'Ambrosio 17th, Trulli in 18th, Kartikeyan 19th, and Kovalainen in the Lotus 20th, Timo Glock 21st, Liuzzi 22nd, Vettel 23rd, and last of the finishers as Nico Rosberg failed to finish the race. Jenson Button was not penalised for any of the accidents, either with the one with Vitaly Petrov on the first lap or Sebastian Vettel coming into the pits. The race stewards decided that that was Vettel's fault for not yielding, but did not penalise him as he had already suffered from the accident. Felipe Massa was pulling away from Fernando Alonso in the closing stages. When he asked about his pace, the Spaniard got the following reply: "Felipe is faster than you. Can you confirm you understood that message?"